Welcome back, Fragrance Fiend here today with a sample of Black Lacquer by Tom Ford. This is personally one of my most anticipated releases from the brand since ever. So yeah, brand new 2024 release. This is kind of a first impression, well, kind of a bit of a lie. I did actually smell it, but I ruined it a few seconds later because I forgot I had it on me and I sprayed something else on top of it, but thankfully I have a sample, so you get to see my full reaction beside that initial opening. So I personally collect vinyl records. I absolutely love the smell of the lacquer, and the aesthetic of this bottle is probably my favorite from the brand so far. The sleek black glossy finish is so cool. If you saw my last review, you probably remember my opinions about the brand and how the price tags don't really justify the quality of the scents and how you're really just buying that Tom Ford name. So on the official website, the only note breakdown consists of ebony wood, peony, leather, and birch. So let's crack it open. This was actually one that I was so hyped for that I was completely willing to blind buy it, but I've learned my lesson in the past, so let's give it a spray. Incredibly satisfying. It's both smoky, incensey. I mean, I just recently did a review of Smoke by Perfumer H, so if you haven't seen that, definitely check it out. I'm going to make a few comparisons here. Smoke by Perfumer H is a lot more on the darker, earthier, very resinous side. I mean, this is resinous too, but definitely doesn't have that same level of depth and warmth. This is actually a little more lighter in contrast, and if you think this is heavy, then you obviously have not smelled Smoke by Perfumer H. So yeah, definitely quite incense heavy, almost quite ashy as well. Judging from that opening alone, I would not be disappointed if I did blind buy it, but there's so many other more factors to take into play, so let's see how it dries down. So we're back. That ebony wood is definitely creeping in quite early. There's not really too much that I can really pick out of the note breakdown. I mean, the official website really doesn't list that many notes. The leathery facets are actually quite nice. There's a lot of leather fragrances that I don't like, but this one I kind of sit in the middle with. It's light, it doesn't override the fragrance, it doesn't have that, I mean, like, obviously leather is going to be a synthetic note, but it doesn't have that synthetic screechiness, which a lot of leather perfume oils tend to have. I'm enjoying the dry down, but it's very subtle. I actually expected a lot more projection out of this, but I mean, it is 2024 Tom Ford. Long gone are the days of tobacco oud or classic tobacco vanilla, or noir de noir, which last forever. These newer recent releases just don't pack the same punch. Sadly, I think this one is included as well. I love the story, I love the concept. There's really not too much I can say about the fragrance at this point. I mean, it's comparable to the likes of a lot of Comme des Garçons and some more affordable fragrances. Yes, this one does smell quite high quality and somewhat complex, but for a basic spicy woody scent that lacks half as much character as, say, Perfumer H, which I mentioned earlier, then this one should really be half the price of what it is. In the US, it will cost you $405 for 50ml, or in Australia, $575 for 50ml. There's really nothing too different or unusual about this one. I mean, it is kind of in that line of Tom Ford DNA, but I gotta say, this one is probably in my top 3 or 4 Tom Fords all round. I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for this, but I don't really like oud wood. It doesn't really do anything special for me. Lost Cherry is just way too thickly sweet for me. I like Noir de Noir Tuscan Leather. Lime Azure is probably my most favorite, actually. I mean, such a simple scent, but I love it. And I don't feel that one's even gained any recognition since its release. I mean, yeah, it's a simple lime scent, but it works. I do quite like Cherry Smoke, though. But that's just a rapid fire through a few of them of my personal opinion of what I would and wouldn't wear. It doesn't mean they're good or bad. It's just what I feel when I wear them. Black Lacquer, though, has definitely restored a tiny bit of my faith back into the brand. I feel like they have so much more to be able to offer the general public, but where they can cut costs, I guess they will. I know quite a few people that have bought newer formulations of a lot of the top sellers from Tom Ford, be it oud wood or whatever, and they just say they don't last anymore. As this is drying down, it's definitely losing some of its smokiness and ashiness, and it's becoming a little bit more of a warmer woody scent. Unfortunately, the projection is beginning to diminish quite rapidly, and I know a lot of you might say, well, I only used a few sprays from the sample, but if I compare this to a lot of my other reviews where I spray fragrances from any other brand and it literally lasts on me all day just from one spray from the sample, I mean, this is just not good enough. That is for 575 Australian dollars. So no, I wouldn't necessarily be disappointed if I blind bought this and it didn't perform that well. I'd just spray myself more, but I just would expect more from this fragrance. It's definitely not the most complex scent in the world. It's woody, smoky, spicy, and somewhat dark. There's definitely an audience for this. I mean, to me it smells like someone a little more mature, possibly in their, I don't know, 30s, 40s plus. It does lean quite heavily, traditionally speaking, on the masculine side. Price aside, it's definitely a scent that I would wear myself, but it has failed my second test, which is the performance. I think this one's only probably going to last a few hours max, but you'll find out more in my description at the end of the video. This will probably be the last Tom Ford review I do in quite a while because I always get a lot of flack when I negatively review anything. Not that I necessarily care, but I rather showcase the scents I love. Anyway, thank you so much again for watching today's video. Only 5% of you are subscribed, so feel free to do that. It is free, and I will see you next time.